Statistics statistics have already shown that less than 1% of the population in network marketing period are going to earn 6-figure, 7-figure incomes in this industry. And I think that's kind of like anything else you do in life. The top 1%, based on your skill sets, based on your commitment, based on your dedication, the work that you put in, the hours that you invest, the personal development, all these things, the things you're doing when nobody's watching, all those things tie into your income. I promise you, I tell people all the time, you're not going to stumble your way to 6 figures in network marketing. You're not going to not know the compensation plan. You're not going to not know the products, and you're not going to not know how to do presentations and do all these things and just go straight to the top. That's the biggest misnomer that I see when people are going out and talking about, all these things. They, like I said, the hype machine. People are signing up and they have no clue really the work that's required to have success. They just get excited and they sign up because other people are excited. You notice with HBN, we don't have a lot of the hype. We teach people what's really happening, and we kind of almost like the anti-hype machine, and we don't need the hype because what we have is so good. So what I'm going to do tonight is we're going to go through this compensation plan. I'm going to highlight some key things. I'm going to tell you some of the differences. I've done comp plan comparison videos. This is really just a video to go through the HBN compensation plan. Do me a favor, post in the chat as we go through any questions, any comments, anything you guys want to contribute to this Zoom call. And then also, if you guys have questions as we wrap up, or you guys come up with questions, post it on the link or in the different groups, different questions that you guys may come up with, so we can we can kind of really make this training and tie it back to some of the questions that you guys may have. Because I understand this, everybody's not starting from the same place. Everybody doesn't really understand all the aspects of compensation plans. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, you guys. 5 to 6 figures from home training. And this is the comp plan edition, you guys. So I got some different slides and different things we're going to show with this. And let's go ahead and start out with the initial slide. Of course, most of you guys should already know. If you're new and you're just checking this out for the first time, you may be unaware, you guys. HBN pays 7 different ways. So I'm not going to assume everybody here is part of the company. Some of you guys may be new. We have retail commissions, fast start bonuses, lifestyle bonuses, star bonuses, matrix bonuses, binary bonuses, and binary matching commissions. Now, as we go through this, let me go ahead and give this quick disclaimer. We're not saying that anybody is guaranteed to make any amount of money. It's based on the work that you do. What I am saying is this, that if you do the work as specified in the compensation plan, it does pay you accordingly. And if anybody has already gotten paid, go ahead and post in the chat paid if you agree with that statement. If you do said work, they pay you based on said work, and that we always get paid here in HBN. I just want to see if I'm correct in saying so and people agree with that assessment. All right, great. I see a few people already posted in the chat. So let's go ahead and jump right to it, you guys. So again, retail commissions, and I'm going to go through this. It might not be in the exact order that you see here. So retail commissions, one of the first things that really caught my attention when I was talking about this business with Mr. Zanders was that the company paid daily. And I've never been a part of a company that pays daily / real time. And I'm thinking in my head, I've been a part of companies that pay monthly. In fact, I tried to shy away from those companies that pay monthly, because guess what? I need my money. I don't need them holding my money, collecting interest on the money that they know they have to pay me. So I'm never going to really sign up for anything that pays monthly, because I like my money. I like to have it. I wanted to accrue interest in my account, even though interest is terrible, but let's stay focused. And then you got some companies that pay bi-weekly, and you have some companies that pay weekly. And some companies do a little bit of hybrid of both, where they pay one aspect monthly and then they pay weekly in different aspects. But this company pays daily and literally almost virtually in real time. So give an example, retail commissions, and we'll use the example here. So when a customer purchases from your free, and keyword is free, your free shophbn.com retail website, you will earn 50% of the commissionable volume on their order. Let me break down free first. A lot of companies in our industry say it's free to get started. What they means is that it's free to have a back office website or some version thereof, their back office website. I've seen a lot of companies say, hey, free to get started. You got a website. You can actually sign people up, but you can't earn any commissions until you make what they call their qualifying purchase. I mean, you can sign up a bunch of people and never get paid. In order to get paid, you have to actually make a purchase. When HBN says free, they mean free. All you need is a name, first and last, and an email address, and you can start earning commissions right now tonight with your free account, and never make a purchase with HBN as it pertains to retail commission. So I was kind of intrigued by that because I've never seen a company that actually does that. And a lot of companies say free, but again, the devil is in the details, you guys. So now let's talk about what is commissionable volume. Because again, I want to break this down to the standpoint of, brand new people who may not understand all these things. You've never really heard of network marketing, maybe on this call. So commissionable volume, CV is commissionable volume. It is the abbreviated term. Commissionable volume is the difference between what the customer pays and what the company allocates to pay out commissions. Again, some companies, it's a big difference. Some companies, the difference is smaller. But understand that's the difference when you see CV, PV, personal volume. And I'll explain that when we get to that part. So in this example that you have over here, we're talking about 24, and they use the 2,400 milligrams of CBD oil. Understand that's probably the highest grade of quality that we have is the 2,400 milligrams. And they have the retail price of $233.95. In the example, it's 100 points in personal volume. You're going to receive a commission of $50, which is 50% of the commissionable volume. Now that money will show up on your account. Now, how do you get access to that money? You have the option I recommend is an option called Pay Quicker. Pay Quicker is a bank and it gives you a Visa debit card that you can use to literally make purchases anywhere that Visa is accepted. So you can transfer that money to your Pay Quicker account. Once it posts to Pay Quicker, you'll have access to that money. I'm just curious, how many people have a Pay Quicker debit card? Post in the chat if you already have your card. If you don't have your card, post in the chat, I do not have my card, because I want to know that as well. So again, once that money posts to your Pay Quicker account, you have access to those funds. So I tell people this is a real-time scenario for people who need real-time solutions. This is a real-time solution. Maybe look, you're behind on bills. Maybe, the pandemic hadn't been nice to you or kind to you, and you're needing an additional income stream. There are a lot of people doing Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, all types of different things to make ends meet. How about being able to work from home and build a business and make some money and literally be able to pay bills from the comfort of your home? And that's what we're talking about with this industry and with HBN, you guys. So again, that's $50 that you're going to get paid in that example. So 50% of the commissionable volume paid out in real time. And again, there's no requirements to earn that money other than you having a free account, you guys. And you can get a free account right now. If you don't have one, text the person who invites you to the Zoom. Hey, set up my free account. Send them your first and last name and email address, and they'll get that set up for you guys. Let's see. I see a couple of people say I do not have my card. Okay, great. Look, if you're in the chat, whoever invited you to the Zoom, let's make sure that we help people get set up with those cards. But understand this, you can't get your card. You can't request that card until you've earned commissions. If you've earned commissions, then you can request that card. It's a very simple process to do. Let's go ahead and keep going here. Fast start bonuses. Retail is pretty straightforward. A lot of people understand retail. So fast start bonuses, and this is something that's a little bit different as well, is paid daily. So in our company, you're going to earn between 20 to 30% in fast start commissions for every order for person that you personally introduce for their first 90 days, barring that you set them up with a wholesale account. Now, I literally set up 99% of the people who I introduce with the wholesale account. Why do I do this? Because I want them to get the best pricing. These are my friends, family members, coworkers, church members. Even if I don't even really know you from social media, maybe you came in and we don't really know each other that well yet, I'm still going to set you up with a wholesale account and allow you to become a part of what we do here at HBN and pay the best price, because I just feel like everybody wins that way. So from that standpoint, like I said, 99% of my people are wholesale members who I introduced. I actually had one retail customer, and they actually did that by mistake because they messed up and clicked the wrong link and did some stuff, and it ended up being a retail commission. So I really should have 0, but I had 1. So let's go ahead and talk about this. How do you get to the 20 to 30%? You set up your people with a free wholesale account. All you need is their first, last name, email address, whatever they order for the first 90 days that they're a part of HBN, the company is going to pay you 20 to 30%, you guys. Now, how did you get to the 30% versus the 20%? And this is a question that some people have. How you get to the 30% is you want to make a one-time qualifying purchase of a VP pack. Now, once you get that VP pack, it costs a little bit more, but it locks you in at 30%. From that standpoint, you want to maintain your 100 points in CV. That'll lock you in at 30% for the lifetime next year here at HBN. But it's a one-time purchase of a VP pack. If you didn't do it when you first got started, don't feel bad. Myself and literally, I will say several leaders did not do VP packs when we first got started. You can always do this at any time, you guys. There is no wrong or right time to do this. Do it when it makes sense for you, you guys. If it makes sense tonight, do it. Well, do it tonight if you haven't made a purchase. We'll get to all that a little bit later. Now, you can also earn second and third generations. You can qualify as a silver. You can start earning 3% on your level 2s, meaning, and what is generation? So we understand, like I said, this is breaking it down. First generation are people who I personally introduce. Second generation, the people who I introduce, when they introduce people, they fall on my second generation. So when you hit silver, you'll earn 3% on of fast start commissions on your second generation. You hit gold in the compensation plan, you'll get 3 generations and you'll get 2% on those fast start commissions as well. Some people say, you know what, Joe, that doesn't seem like a lot of money, but I promise you, over time, as you're building in this opportunity, those 3s and 2% add up significantly. So again, as you're working and building through the compensation plan, understand fast start commissions are paid out. How long are fast start commissions paid out? Somebody posted in the chat. How long are fast start commissions paid out? We're going to give it a second. I know some people scared to post it. All right, there we go. 90 days. You know what I need to do? We need to give out some giveaways to get y'all to respond quick. I know Mac will be the first one responding. We have some giveaways out here. Watch this. So the reason why I wanted to say that is this. Fast start commissions are paid out for 90 days. I want you guys to really grasp that concept, 90 days. And after 90 days, the fast starts will go away. And what will happen, because during that 90-day period, you're only going to get 50% of the commissionable volume. I know we had some new people who got started not too long ago. They were trying to figure out, man, I did a 100 CV order. It's only showing 50 CV in my volume history. Hey, did I do this right? Yes, you did it right. For your qualifications, it's still going to count as 100 points in volume. But because of fast start commissions paying out for 90 days, it's only going to be 50% and it's going to be 50 CV. So give an example. If you did 25 CV order, it's going to show as 12/12.5 CV because it's 50%, you guys. So you guys understand that. After 90 days, on day 91, those fast start commissions will go away, and then you'll start to get the full volume. So those 100 CV orders will really count as 100 CV. Let me explain to you why I like that. In the beginning, when people first get started, most of your money comes from fast starts. You don't really have a team or organization that's that big, that fast, to where it's going to be that big of a difference. But about 90 days in, you're looking at really hitting some volume-based rank. So you're going to notice by the 90-day mark, day 91, that 4th month, your volume is good, will literally double almost, if not even more from that standpoint, because those people who have volume are now full volume, but you won't get those fast start commissions. But now the volume is starting to kick in, you guys. So again, I love the compensation plan and the thought that was put into it, you guys. So again, remember that. 50% commissionable volume, 50% of the CV for the first 90 days. After day 90, day 91, you get 100% of that volume. So hopefully that answers that question. And it has to be a 125 CV VP pack, correct? Miriam, if it says VP pack, I'm going to go with it as VP pack. I know myself and Coach Marcus were supposed to be investigating and see if you could do an order that's over a certain amount. I'm just going to say VP pack until we get confirmation. I'll leave that to Coach Marcus or maybe Mr. Zanders if they want to say about 125 CV orders and vice versa. But VP pack, if it says VP, it will lock you in at the 30% fast start commissions. Yep, I see that, Coach Marcus. There you go. Johnny on the spot. Love it. Has to be says VP pack. Absolutely. As long as it says VP pack, Miriam, you're good. Let's keep going. So now let's get to the real nuts and bolts. So to maximize its compensation plan, and this is really what separates HBN from anything else out there, there really is no breakage. And this is one of the things I've studied the industry. Most compensation plans, they're figuring out ways to keep money from you. And literally the people, as they promote the ranks, there's different compensation plans, there's different amounts paid out, all these different things. So, but the great thing about Heart and Body Naturals, I want you guys to really understand if you can master a concept that we teach of 100 points in personal volume, U plus two, and you can really maximize and unlock the full potential of this compensation plan just by teaching this concept of U plus two, 100 points in personal volume. If you didn't do 100 points right away, understand this may be something that you want to get to. I don't tell people how to, what to do. I'm going to show you the benefits and the differences of 100 points versus not doing 100 points in personal volume. And again, it's a personal decision on what you decide to do from that standpoint. So I like to teach people how to become star qualified executives, meaning you have 100 points in personal volume in your store. A lot of benefits and a lot of things take place at 100 points in personal volume. And then you want to identify two people. We call this U plus two. You may hear it referred to as the health and wealth revolution, health and wealth movement, all these different things. That's simply people talking about U plus two, you having 100 points in personal volume, and you have two other people. Now you become what's called a star qualified executives. And that's going to literally unlock this compensation plan and its full potential. And remember, when I say two, that means you're two locked in people. You want two locked in, one left, one right. And again, that's going to fully unlock this compensation plan. Let's talk about it. Now, the next thing I want you guys to understand, this is not a race. And I'm going to show you guys as we really go through this, because we're here for the long game. A lot of people try to teach you this raw stuff. Understand network marketing was really built around two principles, and it kind of went astray. Passive residual income and then leverage. Those are the two main things. If you hear anybody in network marketing, then they don't talk about passive residual income and leverage, and they don't explain that, they're probably not going to be at that company longer than probably a year and a half, because they're going to jump to the next company because they don't even going to be around long enough to really take advantage of those two things. So understand this. Once you start qualifying, become a star qualified executive, you want to get your two in your first week, and do this as quickly as you can. It doesn't take a long time to do this. Get your two, and then in your second week, help your two get their two. It's about duplication when you understand this compensation plan. And now let's talk about what happens when you teach get your two and help your two get their two, because this is how you truly unlock this compensation plan. You have 100 points in personal volume, and this is from a star bonuses, you guys. And I'm going to go through this in detail. This is paid out daily. I'm going to go through this in detail because it's one of the key parts of the compensation plan that I really want you guys to get. You have 100 points in personal volume. You identify two people. You put one on your left team, one on your right team. You're a star qualified executive. You earn the fast starts between 20 and 30%. You're going to get an additional $50 star bonus. Those two duplicate. If you do the example, you help those two get their two the next week. This can happen in the 2-week period. Now they get their 50, you get your $75. That's a total of $125 you've earned. Those four, they do the same thing. Let's say all four of those people get their two the next week. Guess what? Those four earn their 50, those two earn 75, and you earn an additional $100. And again, this can happen as fast or as slow, but again, it's about U plus two. And again, every time these levels fill up, you guys, it gets astronomical. And remember, this is a system. So the reason why I tell people this is the most powerful passive residual income in the industry, no other company has anything that pays like this, and it's paid out every single month. As people reorder, they requalify every month as long as they're ordering at 100 points in personal volume. So again, that's the only way to get the star bonus. That's why we teach it this way of U plus 200 points in personal volume. Again, you'll miss out on a lot of money if you're at 50, 75, 88, 92. I even saw somebody the other day who did 98 CV. Couldn't quite understand it. I just felt maybe they didn't know about the star bonuses and the compensation plan, but that's why we're doing this training. So again, unlimited star grids as well. We teach U plus two. That's where you start, not where you stop. So again, it's about duplication. You don't necessarily want to go out and be a sponsor monster and sponsor 100 people who sponsor nobody. I've seen that happen, and they didn't make a lot of money because they never got paid on level twos. They never got paid on level threes. If you help your two get their two, I believe what you do duplicates. You help your two get their two, you get yours in the first week. Those two are going to push to get theirs in the next week. And guess what? Now you can go and get your next two. So don't go out try to sponsor 20 people and nobody gets there too, and you're missing out on your level 2s and level 3s because you want duplication in your organization. That's going to help you maximize this compensation plan, because again, that's 75 in the hundreds, and as many grids as you can start. Every 2 people constitutes a new grid, and every time you open a grid, those grids have opportunities to fill up, you guys. So again, every month they reorder. That's why people are making literally, some people hundreds, some people thousands of dollars every single month, because they got 5, 10, 15, 20 plus star grids that are filling up every single month. And remember, as these star grids fill in, if you close out a grid on level 2 and it's supposed to pay $75, that $75 literally shows up that day. And then, so it's, again, it's real time money, and you have access to that money as soon as you can transfer that money to pay quicker, you guys. This part right here, there's an 8 value pack VP. Oh yeah, absolutely. Now watch this. I got a little example here. So you look at this, it almost looks like a tic-tac-toe board, and you see the grids. So grid at the top, that's a separate star grid. L1, L2, L3, that simply just means level 1, level 2, level 3. And I want to kind of show you guys the mechanics of how the grids fill in. Of course, grid 1 means it's a separate grid, grid 2 is a separate grid, etc. So as you're building your organization, let's say you brought in Marcus and you brought in Eric in this example. Somebody tell me how much money you made. Grid 1, you filled up your level 1 on grid 1. How much money did you make? Somebody post in the chat. Let's see who was paying attention. How much money did you make? $50. There goes Mac. That's what I'm talking about. You made, somebody said 59. Charlotte, you made $50. $50. I know you probably hit 9 by accident, Charlotte, so we're gonna give you a pass on that one. So now I want you guys to understand the mechanics of the grid. You brought in K, let's say Karen, K is for Karen, and then you brought in L for Larice. So you got 4 people who you brought in. Then you brought in Angela, and you brought in Larry in this example. Now, Eric just brought in his first person. So every person who you recruit falls on your level 1. When your level 1 people, the people who you introduce people, and they're at 100 points in volume, they start to fill in your level 2s. So what happens in this example, you see that Eric brought in somebody. Now Eric's starting to fill in your level 2. Notice in this example that Karen, Keisha, whoever that K is, they brought in somebody. Karen is in grid 2. This is what blew me away. This is what I argued with Mr. Zanders about, because I said, this can't be right. There's no way that they would do this. Karen is in grid 2. But when Karen brings in her first person, it's going to fill in the first available spot on level 2. So in essence, the grids are going to fill up as fast as they can, regardless of who on your level 1 is sponsoring people. They're going to fall in the first available spot on your level, on your L2. And you can see how these grids are filling in. Who Angela sponsors somebody, Angela's way in grid 3, and they help fill in your L2. Now you got 4 people in your L2 on your grid 1, or level 2 on your grid 1. How much money did you make in this example? Ah, Richard, that's what I'm talking about. Johnny on the spot, $75. You can see as your grids are starting to continue to fill up. Larice brought in somebody, Angela brought in somebody, Larry finally got in the game, and then you see Angela brought in somebody else, and look, they're building their business, they're getting their 50s, and you got an additional $75, and they building their businesses. Now, guess what? Their L2s are starting to go out and do the same thing. You can see in this example, then now look, Eric, now he's on fire now. Eric's excited. He brought in 3 people in grid 3, and you can see how these grids can fill up real quickly when you teach that simple system of U+2 at 100 points in personal volume, you guys. It can get astronomical when you understand how the grids work. Understand, again, fast as they can from left to right, you guys. Now I'm going to give you guys a scenario, because I want you guys to understand, again, what the grids do and what the grids don't do. So in this scenario, you're looking at star grids. Take a look at this. In this scenario, you have completely full grid 1. Now, you got somebody, let's say in this example, you have a level 1 person and they're killing it. In this scenario, understand this can never happen, because your grid 2 will never open until you bring in your first person. The grid won't open. So if you have a completely closed grid and somebody's a recruiter and they're out killing it, sponsoring 5, 10, 15, 20 people, and you don't have a grid open, these people never existed on your L2 because the grid won't open until you bring in another person in L1. If that makes, excuse me, not in L1, but on level one, yes, or L1. So this scenario will never take place. It won't work unless you bring in somebody. Same thing, scenario 3. You brought in somebody in this scenario. Your level 3 will never fill in unless you have one person in level 2 and one person in level 1. So that's what how the grids work, you guys. Again, you have to have those grids open in order to get a level 3. You have to have a level 2, and the same thing, in order to have a level 2, you have to have an open star grid. If not, you will lose those people and they will go into the star grid heavens, and they don't roll up, but they will still fill in the other people's grids. They just won't fill in your grids, you guys. So hopefully that part makes some sense. I know it probably is a lot for people to understand, but this is recorded so you guys can play it back, and then we can go back and have further discussions later on. Now, let me give you a star grid scenario. And this is important, especially as we look to wrap up the month, you guys. It's important that you guys check your star grids. Do me a favor, if you're new, post in the chat. I want to make sure that you guys know how to even find the star grids in the back office. If you don't know where your star grids are in the back office, just post in the chat, look, star grids question mark, or post question mark, so we know that you don't know where that is. I want to make sure that you guys understand certain things, and it's hard to talk about this stuff if you've never ever seen it. We did a training like this before, and some people had never seen even where the star grids were. So in this example, and this is why I need you guys checking this as we get ready to close out the month. Now, you can literally, man, the money here is so astronomical. I think I have, but I'm okay. I think I might have, but not sure. Okay, all right. So we're gonna make sure that everybody has that information. So watch this, you guys. In this scenario, as we closing out the month, especially, it's important that you guys are checking your star grids, because if you're not, you can have a scenario just like this where you have a level 2 that's completely full. And make sure you guys may have multiple grids. Make sure that you guys are clicking through your grids if you have multiple grids, and making sure that this scenario is not in play in your grids, you guys. So don't just look at the first one. There could be multiple tabs in your star grids. Make sure you're clicking on the 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, 10, 20, as far as different grids, to make sure this is not happening. So in this example, you see there's a completely full level 2, there's a completely full level 3, but in this example, let's just use Sandra in this example. Sandra, if she hadn't sponsored her second person, it's the last day, 2 days of the month. In this example, how much money has Sandra earned in this example right now, as it stands, as far as star grids? How much money has Sandra made? Charlotte says 0. Richard says 0. Carolyn says 0. Does anybody think that Sandra made money in this example? All right, so we're gonna look. I see how people are scared to say something. So let's go ahead. Let's get this figured out. What's happening here? So Nikia says 175. Okay, all right. So, and I know why you said that, Nikia. So understand this, and I'm glad that you post that, because again, that's just why we're doing this. In this example, understand you cannot get paid in this example on level 2 and level 3 unless you have a closed level 1. So until you bring in your second person and close out level 1, you won't earn the level 2 or the level 3. That's why we're doing this training, especially tonight. I told Mrs. Anderson, we got to train on this, because it's going to be some people that, as we close out the month, that may have this example. And in this example, Nikia, if you don't get a person in that slot, you just lost $175. But in this example, you get one person at 100 points in personal volume, you're going to earn fast start commissions between $20 and $30 for that one person. You'll unlock all of your star bonus commissions at the same time. You'll get paid the 50, the 75, and the 100. And anybody want to tell me how much money you just made in this example if you just sponsor one person at 100 points in personal volume? I see Carolyn on it. She said 225. How many people say 225? 225, Charlotte. All right. Marcella say 225. And let's see if y'all are correct. Let's see if y'all are correct. Everybody going with 225. See, everybody follow the leader. See, I know Mr. Zanders knows because we talk about this all the time. So y'all left out the fast starts. Don't forget, you're gonna get paid between $20 to $30 in fast start commissions as well. The star bonus gonna pay you $225, but total you're gonna make $245 to $255 because you got your fast start commissions as well. So don't forget about that, you guys. And if you like Mr. Zanders, when we talk about this, because when we talk about business, you count every dollar. Don't forget, you also got matrices and all these things that come from all this as well. It's even more money than that. So from that standpoint, you guys, how many of y'all know that if this scenario is playing out for you this month, that you go, I don't care if it got to be the dog, the cat, the neighbor needs somebody gonna get 100 CV order, because 100 CV order in HBN typically runs me about $120, $150. It just depends on what I purchase. If I don't care if I got to call a family member, phone a friend, somebody gonna make this purchase. I'm gonna close this grid. I'm not gonna lose $255 because of a $125, $135 order. Post in the chat if that makes sense to you guys. I'm just curious if that's resonating. Does that make sense? As a businessman, I'm not gonna lose $245 to $255 behind a $125, $140 order. Okay, it's making sense. I just want to make sure it's making sense, because if it's not making sense, then we probably need to kind of come at it at a different angle, because we all in here for business. So like I said, I don't care if it's a neighbor. So right now, what you guys want to do is looking at your grids. Make sure that you guys are checking out your grids, and don't just take this information for yourself. When we do this, it's to be shared. You want to make sure that you're going through this type of stuff with the people who you introduce as well, and make sure they're plugging into these trainings. Because imagine this, what if you got 30 people on this Zoom, 35 people on this Zoom tonight, and 10 people have this scenario? Do y'all guys realize just by them going in and making that purchase, they're going to open and close other grids? Your level 1 is somebody else's level 2 and somebody else's level 3. This is a global impact. Every time 100 CV orders hit the system, it's affecting multiple people. So we got to make sure that we're teaching this, and you can do this anytime during the month, you guys. You see the scenario, make sure you get these orders done, you guys. It's just a lot more stuff becoming available. See, waiting room. Do we have some people in the waiting room? Guys, let me know if you guys we have people in the waiting room. All right. And then also, as we can, another scenario, this could happen as well. You got a complete level 1. So you've earned the $50 already. Now understand, because your level 2 is not full. I won't ask you guys a question again. I won't put you guys through that. Your level 2 has 3 and not 4. Your level 3 is completely full, has 8 people. In this scenario, you've made the 50, but you won't get paid on the $100 until you have a 4th person in your level 2. Now, how can you do this? Guess what? If you have somebody who's on your level 1, and you're teaching them how to close out their grids, you may have somebody who has one grid, one spot that they need to fill to close out a grid and get their 50. And so now you guys can work together, or if you sponsor somebody, you can work with those people, help them sponsor somebody. Because if you just get one person in this example, you're going to get paid the additional 75 and the additional 100. Now, the fast start commissions will be paid to the person who introduced them, but you're going to get paid that's 175, you guys. But a total is paid out of 195 to 205 just by accomplishing this feat, you guys. So again, is a 100 CV order not worth 195 to 205? Again, I tell people from that standpoint, when you understand the business and the mechanics and how the star grids work, you can literally unlock this unlimited income. But you got to be teaching this. Your people have to know about star grids, star bonuses, how they work. They need to be checking their grids every month, because they reset at the end of the month. On the first, everybody's grids will go to 0 on their first auto ship run. They'll start repopulating again from 0. And it happens every single month, you guys. So do not let tomorrow night go by and you have any one of these scenarios in without working to get those spots filled in, you guys. It just makes sense. Now, don't miss your auto ship run on the first to do this. But again, make sure that you get this situated if you can do so. And we don't like to leave money on the table, if that part makes sense. All right, see, somebody just got into the waiting room. Now, binary bonus. This is going to be fun because I don't think I've really explained binary like this, you guys. So hopefully you guys got something out of that star bonus training and the star grids training. And we can do that again in some smaller sessions where we just do star bonus. But I really wanted to go through the compensation plan in detail because one of the things that we don't talk about, you guys, enough is the binary. And this is probably the best part of the compensation plan, especially you talk to people like Coach Marcus who've been around, you talk to the Will Zanders of the world and some of the people who've been around, because this doesn't get talked about and it gets overlooked a lot in this industry because like I said, if some of the pseudo leaders in the industry, they're jumping around so much. They're only at companies for a year and they're taking the next deal and they're moving around. You never really get a chance to build a solid binary. So understand, you want to get somewhere where you can be there for at least 5 years or more. You hear us talk about that all the time. It has to be a long-term vision for this to really come to fruition. We all got started. When I got started, I think I got started with 3 people. It was Larice and a couple other people. And guess what? Some of them aren't even here today. But I understand from that standpoint, you guys, you really understand how this binary works. And we talk about being the last man standing. We want to have the last 100,000, 200,000 million people standing. I just think that this company will be that company that will become the flagship company in the industry as people get tired of jumping around and they're looking for a home. And so let's talk about how this works as far as the binary and what can happen for you. So when I got started, I had literally, it was a team of 3. I know Coach Marcus, when he said he got started, it was a team of me. Mr. Zanders, post in the chat, how many people did you get started with day 1? And then also, don't post how many people you have now yet, but post how many people you had when you first got started. And then we'll bring that part in as we go. So understand, we teach 100 points in personal volume to maximize the binary. I know Ms. Brower is on here too. You guys, some of you guys who've been here for a while, post how many people you started with when you first got started. So you'll earn 4% if you had 25 points in personal volume. You'll earn 8% if you had 50 points in personal volume. You'll earn 100% if you're at 12 points in personal volume. Now, from this standpoint, I teach 100 points because I want all of my money. You said 214, 2419, 0 people, Coach Marcus, team of me. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, 100 points in personal volume. Again, I want all my money. So I'm going to always teach 100 points in personal volume. And again, people are going to do it works for them. So how does the binary work? Binary is simply a fancy word for 2. Everybody's building 2 teams. For the people who don't understand that part, think about it this way. There's some company differences in the compensation plans. Binary, you're building 2 teams. They have unit levels where you're just building, you can have 100 different teams. But the binary has created more millionaires because it creates a team type concept to where it forces you guys to work together and it forces you to put people under other people. So let's talk about how this works. So because I can only bring in 2 people, my third person has to go underneath one of the 2 people that I brought in. Does that make sense? Inevitably, because I only have 2 slots. And if you can look at the example here, it's just your 2 slots and somebody has to go underneath them. You can see there's no other place for them to go. So inevitably, your first 2 people will benefit the most off of the work that you do. And again, it just goes that way for everybody who's involved. Everybody has 2 slots and everybody else goes underneath the 2 slots. So from that standpoint, it creates that leveraging aspect. And the great thing about the binary is it's not about the work that you do as an individual, it's what we do collectively, because inevitably we have to put people in some of you guys' organization because we have nowhere else to put them, if that makes sense. They have to go somewhere and they have to fall somewhere down in our organizations. So you're going to get paid off of all the volume in your organization, regardless of who introduced them. So this really is a true team building aspect. And this is why people make so much money in binaries. So let me give you an example. How does it work? Anytime you have 200 points come through your left team, 200 points come through your right team, those points will flush and they'll pay out. If you're at 100 points in personal volume, $24 every single time that happens, you guys. What makes this so special, let me go ahead and show this example because I got a slide that's actually probably going to give you a better visual of how it works. So remember, you have yourself and then you have those 2 spots. You're one left, one right. And then once you fill in those 2, those are your first 2. Everything else, just look at it as a bucket. And once you have your first 2, one left, one right, you become binary qualified. Just think about left team and right team, you guys. And it's just volume flowing through left team and right team. So in this example, like we said, you have 200 points left, 200 points right. That's going to pay you $24 every single time that happens. This binary is so special because there's no binary caps and there's no binary breakage. And when I say no binary cap, there's unlimited income potential. When I say no binary breakage, it's not based on your ranks and qualifications. It's just based on you having your two and whatever you have in personal volume, whether it be 100, whether it be 50 or 25 CV, that's going to pay out. So if you have 50, it'll pay you $16. You had 25 CV, it's going to pay you $8 every time you cycle. And again, the system does not know who you are. It just knows if you're binary qualified, 200 left, 200 right, those points will flush and go away and pay you out $24. Now, what I love about this binary is this: it takes a while to build. And I'm going to really explain the psychology behind this. The star bonus is the bridge money. A lot of people in network marketing, no other company has a star bonus, anything that functions like that. So if you take away the star bonus, you have fast starts and binary. This is a slower build. So because of that star bonus, it's that bridge money that keeps you around long enough to where your binary can come to fruition. So as your binary is coming to fruition, you're being sustained from your good gracious, you're being sustained from your star bonus. So if that makes sense. So your binary is going in the background. But understand, in the end, as you've been here for 2 or 3 years, your binary is going to pass up your start bonuses. I promise you, as long as you're building and your organization is growing. So let's talk about how this works. So you see what happens. You have your 100 CV. You're going to make $24 every single time that happens. 200 points come through right team, left team, and then everything else is just going down. And that volume, every time an order is placed, their volume flows back through you. Every time you get an email, there's volume being generated either on the left team or the right team. And remember, 200 points left, 200 points right. You had 100 points, pays $24. What we don't talk about is the mechanics behind the binary. So, and this is a perfect world example, but I want you guys to understand what we're building towards. You guys got to see the vision. You have in your level one, you can only have 2 people. They're at 100 points in this example. There's 200 points in volume. Level 2, let's say in this example, perfect world scenario, 4 people, 400 points in volume. You can see as your binary is growing, and this is again, perfect world example, everybody's getting there too in this example. I can promise you, this is not going to happen this way. But again, I'm showing you this as in what can happen, but it never happens this way. Some people are going to bring in more than 2. Some people will not get there too. Some people are going to bring in nobody. But in the end, it always works out. So let's take a look at what happens. You get down just 12 levels in your binary. That's over 4,000 people that's on your level 12 if people are just getting there too. That's why I say it's not a race, but understand this. How long does it take you to recruit 2 people? Somebody post in the chat. How long does it take you to recruit your 2 people? How long should it take? How long can it take? Yeah, I'm just curious. I want you guys to really grasp this binary part again, because it's not taught enough. I want you guys, how long does it take to recruit 2 people? Somebody post in the chat, how long did it take you to recruit your 2 people? Richard said first 12 hours. Carolyn says 7 days, so a week. Somebody says 5 minutes. Charlotte says less than a day. Tanya says 1 day. Now, okay, let's just say it takes you a week to get 2 people. I love the week example because I think we can find 2 people who want to be healthier and make additional money. Miriam says 2 days. Now, understand, when we talk about level 12, if you use the example that I talked about of the U+2, you get your 2 in the first week, you help them get their 2 the next week. That's a 2-week period and you filled up 2 levels. So if everybody gets their 2 over the course of a week, do you realize that this actually can play itself out over the course of 12 weeks? So y'all, I don't know if y'all got that. Did y'all see that? If it takes everybody a week to get their 2 people, you can do this in 12 weeks. Because see, some of y'all get so caught up in trying to go out and do too many different things. We missed the big picture of what's really happening. And and the reason why I'm showing this, I want you guys to really understand what this is. That's why I said U+2. Don't go out and try to recruit 200 because you can't work with 200 people. Help those 2 get their 2 the next week. And look what happens if you do, and everybody just gets 2 in a week. We all agree 2 is not an astronomical number. Can you find 2 people who want to be healthy, make some additional money, work from home? Think we can if we talk to enough people. You get your 2. And if this works out over the course of 12 weeks, Anybody want to guess how much money you make in this example? Who wants to guess? I want somebody to post in the chat how much money you make in this example. This can be 12 weeks. It can be 12 months. How much money did you make on the 12th month? 49. See, Mac cheating. Mac, you know what, Mac? See, this is why you can't have a training and do all this stuff. But I don't think Mac exactly right. But see, let me see what it come out. 50,000. So Mac was right because I probably rounded up or rounded down. But see that, you know what? But given it, this is what can happen, you guys. That's $50,000, and all y'all did was get two people and help two get their two, and it duplicated, and everybody got two. See, a lot of people, because they don't really teach binaries, they don't teach how this works because they just getting fast starts, they getting deals. They never teach this part of the compensation plan. Your back end binary money, if you hear long enough and you just teaching very simple things, will far exceed any other aspects of the compensation plan. And you guys, I want you guys to understand something. That's $50,000 in this example. That's a month right there. I'm gonna say it again, that's $50,000 in a month if you build that out. And of course, don't forget, you've made money along the way, but that's $50,000 a month. That's the reason why I got started in network marketing, because I wasn't doing nothing that was gonna pay me $50,000 a month. But see, we overcomplicate. We get so caught up in things that don't make money and caught up in all these silly things. If you just teach U+2 and help them get there too, this can happen in 12 weeks. And it's going to take a lot of work. It's not going to be easy. But what else are we going to be doing for the 12 weeks? Going to come 12 months, going to come regardless anyway. What if you said over the course of a year, we're going to go slow. Everybody going to get their two over the course of a month. We're going to make sure everybody get their two. Do y'all realize this is what happens? Just want to make sure y'all get that. This is an additional $50,000 a year. If you do it over the course of a year, and once you lock it in, it's $50,000 a month. So you guys get that. I don't know what y'all working on, but we're not teaching this right and we're not duplicating this right. That's $50,000. And all you did was get two and help them get their two. Don't worry about trying to get 20, get their two and help them get their two, help them get their two. That's the power of network marketing, is helping other people. You cannot outdo it by yourself. It's a true team building aspect. Leverage works. You can't possibly go out and recruit 4,096 people in 12 weeks, but everybody can get two. Hopefully that set in for you guys. I really wanted to kind of go through that and give you guys that visual. Post in the chat if that resonated with you guys. So I'm just curious if that part resonated, because I really wanted to go through this binary and make sure that you guys really see the power of what we're doing and understand the binary is going to be the best thing if you understand U+2 and you understand duplication. Don't be in a rush to recruit 100 people, because if they don't duplicate, it didn't matter. That's like another job. You want to leverage the system. You want to leverage other people. You want to help other people. That's the true power of this industry that a lot of people aren't talking about, you guys. Let's keep going. Binary scenario. This is something for those new people who may not be as familiar with binaries when we're talking about power legs and pay legs. And you might have people say your strong leg and weaker leg. I understand a lot of people have a stronger leg than the other. So when you understand the binary and how this works, you guys, so post in the chat if you're not familiar with binaries. This is like talking in a foreign language. I'm just curious, because I know we got people at different levels. If you understand, if you're starting to understand it, it's starting to make sense, just kind of post in the chat. I want to kind of get an idea if this is making sense or not. Just if you're new, feel free. Look, there's no judgment zone here. We need to know so we can make changes and make sure that people are understanding. And because I want to make sure that you guys understand this part of it, because the star bonus and the binary will by far be the two biggest portions of your income if you understand it and you know how it works. So again, a lot of people don't teach this stuff. So binary, in this example, you have a one leg, and I hate to say left team, right team, all that stuff, but everybody has a left team, right team. So in this example, you have 8,124 volume points on your left team, and you have 75 volume points on your right team. If you want to cycle and you sponsor somebody, post in the chat where you should put them at to help you get closer to cycling. So to make sure everybody gets this part. Max says, right. I want to see as many people post in the chat as possible. I want to make sure you guys get this. All right, right. Somebody's all right. Weak leg. That's right, Richard. Which leg is your weak leg, Richard? I'm sure you know. You don't have to post. I know Richard is. He gonna be doing the comp plan training when we get out there in Vegas. I know Richard is on top of the game now. I love it, love it, love it. So right side, everybody got it. That's great. Now understand this, people. When we do this, don't assume that people know this stuff. Don't assume that your team knows this. The system will automatically place people on the weaker leg after 7 days, but make sure that you're teaching this stuff to your people and make sure they understand binary, right team, left team. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made was assuming that people knew. I learned in corporate America, you don't assume anything. You want to literally inspect what you expect, you guys. So again, good job. Right leg is your weaker leg. Now, the matrix bonus paid weekly, profit sharing. Coach Marcus did this so well on this Zoom earlier. This is just profit sharing. A lot of companies will give profit sharing in this networking industry. Typically, it's reserved for the top 1% of money earners in the company, actually less than 1% of money earners in the company. I've been a part of companies that had it. Guess what? Hardly nobody ever qualified. So from that standpoint, it's already better than 99.9% of the companies in the industry because everybody literally qualifies and can qualify for matrix commissions. Based on your rank at the time of the matrix payout is going to determine how much money you can make in this matrix. So let's give an example here. As you promote to the ranks, more levels become available. So remember, we talked about level 1, 2, 3. You can see, give an example as an executive. That means you have your 2 people, one left, one right. You're qualified as an executive. You can earn up to 5 levels in matrix payouts for a maximum payout of $32. Somebody may be thinking, well, Joe, how do they come up with the $32? Well, what's going to happen is this. They're going to calculate all of the orders that take place for that week period. And whatever orders, if you're an executive that fell in your levels 1 through 5, if there were 50 CV or more and you at 100 CV, you're going to earn $1 for those orders. So that's not saying you're going to make 32. The maximum amount of money that you can make is $32. Why? Because there's only 32 spots in those 5 levels. So from that standpoint, you guys, that's how that works. And that's why those are the maximum payouts, you guys, for those levels. You move down bronze, 6 levels, $64. And this is a weekly basis. So what I love about this matrix, my first matrix, I think it was $9. In fact, I know it was $9. And I was excited when I got it because I was at this point, I'm just like, man, there's no way Mr. Zanders told me all these things about this compensation plan. It just sounds too good to be true. And when I got it, I said, wow. Now, I tell people matrix was going to grow over time as you promote to the ranks, more levels become available. And in certain parts of the month, your matrix will be higher than others. That first matrix run is typically more than the second and third. And then that last of the month, because people are trying to get qualified, more orders come in, you're going to see a bigger matrix payout. As your organization grows and matures, it'll start to level out because you have people coming in all periods of the month. But we try to teach people, especially for star bonus purposes, to try to do your order on the first of the month. In fact, I know Coach Marcus and also Mr. Zanders, they actually give out incentivize people who can pay out $100 via raffle basis for people who are at 100 CV order on auto ship on the first of the month. Coach Marcus says mine was $3.25. So again, understand, I promise you that Coach Marcus's his weekly matrix is a lot more than $3.25, you guys. So again, I want you guys to understand the long-term vision, because understand this matrix, this is not the people who you introduce. It's very much like the binary. It's the team building aspect. Everybody who falls in your organization falls into your binary, falls into your matrix, and all these different aspects. That's the leveraging aspect. The passive residual aspect is this. They signed up one time, they're plugged into the system. They're ordering every single month. Every single month now, these same commissions are being generated as your team is growing. It's just maturing. I mean, there's so many ways you can look at it, so many ways you can conceptualize it. But again, you're not chasing this money. Once you have that foundation, you're just building and adding onto your foundation by teaching a few simple, easily duplicated skills, and your organization is growing. U+2, that's not that hard to do. But if you got people who are serious and committed to get it done, imagine what happens if you can do that in 12 months and the people can do that in 12 weeks. What if it takes you a year to get to $50,000 a month? What if it takes you 3 years? I mean, how many of us agree it's worth it? But again, it's worth it, but it's worth doing it the right way, to the point to where you focus and help people get there too. 20 people who get none, it means you got to go back and recruit 20 more people, you guys. Duplication is what this is all about. So lifestyle bonuses are paid out monthly based on your rank within the company. We love lifestyle bonuses. I am excited about these things. I know we got some people who just recently qualified for lifestyle bonuses. You guys, think about this. This is what incentivizes you to grow and build within HBN, because every single month on the first of the month, based on you being qualified at one of these ranks, they're going to pay you, if you're platinum, $250 just to start the month out. You can do what you want to do with that money. It's a lifestyle bonus. Pearl, $350, Sapphire, $500. How many times have you showed up at your job on the first of the month or any day of the month, and the boss just walked up to you and said, here go $250 for the month. Just do whatever you want to do with it. $500. You know what, Richard? We love seeing you around. Him and get us extra $500 just because you showed up today. Anybody ever just Coach Mark? They didn't do that when you went to the office the other day, Coach Marcus. When you took that flight out to Phoenix, they didn't give you that. Come on now. So think about this, you guys. Every month, just for being qualified, they're gonna Ruby $1,000. I don't care if it takes you a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, $1,000 at the beginning of the month, every month, and you doing what you was gonna do anyway. You hit Emerald, it's $2,000. You hit Diamond, it's $5,000 a month. For most people, that's your mortgage and your car note for most people. And now you ain't got no major bills left. That's all your major bills if you hit Diamond. So understand the lifestyle bonuses, and this is paid out every single month on the first of the month like clockwork. I don't know what you're working towards, but understand it has to be the vision. That's why we say U+2, help those two get there too. Get a solid system of duplication, because this is extra money. Because guess what? Even if you never hit any one of these ranks, if you teach U+2 and focus on everybody getting there too, and you shut everything down, hey, everybody got to get there too this week. What if you did? I'm gonna tell you who I know can do that, because they are drill sergeant #1. Charlotte Whitaker is the kind of person who can say, you got to get your 2. Everybody got to get their 2 every single week. And be maniacal about that, you guys. You can get that done. And you'd be amazed at what can happen in this compensation plan. And then once you get that foundation, go get 2 more and duplicate their process. Get your 2 in the next week. Get the 2 in the next week, you guys. Very, very solid foundation. I see Annette said that didn't happen up for her either. It didn't happen for me either, y'all. But I love the idea of every month. Again, all this is trackable on your cell phone. And like I said, from this standpoint, you guys, this is where home-based business and not having to get caught up in the rat race and going out here and taking extra jobs. Because I mean, think about this, it's getting close to the fall season. A lot of people looking for ways to make some additional money. You got Christmas, you got, Black Friday, all these things, kids expecting gifts, all these things that are taking place. People are going out getting extra jobs at Target and doing these things to make $16, $17 an hour. You're away from home, you less time with your family, etc. Why not start a home-based business for free and be able to work from home to where you can spend more time at home with the family and the kids? The company tracks everything. We don't ship anything. We don't deal with any of the hassles and headaches. We don't deal with customer service issues. There's nothing but upside. We're just a marketing arm. And if you can teach this simple system, you can make a lot of money. They track everything: personal role members, how many people over the last 30 days, total consultants in your organization, real-time commissions balance. But then they break down how you've earned your commissions. I show this because of the star bonus aspect, 100 points in personal volume. Remember, I said it's the bridge money. Because if you take away the star bonus, like I said, every company either pays a binary or a unilevel residual component, and they all have fast starts. If you take away the star bonus, that's what the other compensation plans are. You can take out the matrix too, because they don't pay it out to everybody like we do. So take away $9,000 of a total of $15,000 for a total of $6,000. That's what you would have made in another company. And really, it's less than that. And the reason why is because, remember, we pay out fast start commissions for 90 days. So really, I got to go back and take a third of those customer sales and knock that down to 1,000 and knock 2,000. Really, you made $4,000 versus 15,000. How many people agree? I'm just curious that 15,000 sounds better than 4,000. If 15 is going to have a bigger impact than the 4, how many people agree? Just out of curiosity. So yeah, we're going to take the 15. So this is why we got to make sure that people understand what we have our hands on in this industry. And this is why I tell people, when people really slow down and they get out of the hype machine and get out of the hype wheel and stop following the pseudo leaders who jump from company to company every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, they're in a different company. I know people who are literally been in 4 different companies just over the course of last year. How do you build a binary? How do you build a passive residual income? You can't. That's why you gotta find somewhere and make it a home and build it. I see Carolyn, you got, is that a hand up? Or you agreeing? Okay, I think you agreeing. Absolutely, you guys. That's why we got to teach this thing the way we teach it. Members rewards points, you guys. It's sad. I hate to say it. This is one of my favorite things at this company. I tell you what, if they took this away, I would probably be one of the most devastated people at this company because I love my members' rewards points. And I put this in for the compensation plan because it's money. My people told me growing up, we didn't grow up rich like some of the people who grew up. We grew up, we were middle class, lower middle class. I don't even know if we was a class. We were somewhere in there, you guys. And from that standpoint, free money is money. Members rewards points. You start out on auto ship. This is why we teach this. If you guys are not on auto ship, maybe you knew you just made a purchase and you've been trying to figure this thing out. You want to be on auto ship. You want to be at 100 points if you can. Members rewards points are amazing. It starts out in your first month. The first 3 months is 5%. Your fourth month, it jumps to 10%. Your seventh month, it jumps to 15, 20, all the way to 30% a month at the 16-month period. Every month that we run our auto ship, I get $30 in members reward points that I can use like cash in my back office to buy products. Now, me being the person who I am, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I told Coach Marcus them the other day, I already know what I'm ordering. When my auto ship runs on the 1st at 2 o'clock in the morning, when I wake up and roll over, I will be processing my order using my MRP points to buy my skincare line. I'm going to buy the moisturizer from the skincare line. I love our skincare line. I can't, for me, it's too hard to let my points build up. I know that Mac the other day, he had over $600 worth of MRP points, and he used them to buy a bunch of product. Some people let them accrue. Like I said, I'm just not that person. I just can't. It's just too much for me to do. So again, I will be using them out on the 1st of the month like I do all the time. Don't judge me, you guys. But again, it's just additional money, additional aspects to the compensation plan, because again, it's money that I'm not working for it. I'm just placing my order and they're giving me stuff. Wow, it's almost too much. Now, the different levels in our compensation plan, how to promote to these levels. I actually did a training on promoting to certain up to platinum, but understand your goal is U+2, duplicating U+2. All the other levels will take care of itself. Focus on building your binary. And once you get a solid track of getting duplication U+2, getting people plugged in, teaching them to get there too, work with them to get there too. Get them plugged in. Until you have 2 plugged in people, you don't have your team yet. You're looking for those people who we like to call lifers, the people who are going to be there and building it. Even if you miss a day, you sick, you out, they building a business. And that's the kind of people you want. When I say you get your 2, those are your qualified lifers. Those are people going to be plugged in. They're sending you messages about the calls. They're sending you messages about the chats. You want those 2 people. They're excited. They're beating you on calls. That's when you know you have your 2, and hopefully you get 1 left, 1 right. Until you do that, focus on getting those qualified 2. It may take you 10 to get your 2, qualified 2, but again, it's worth it once you get your 2. Then you can see how your organization matures and grows, you guys. But everybody just getting their 2. Now, again, all these different ranks and different levels, they will take care of themselves, but everything is based around people getting there too. So you got to teach that level of duplication. And again, I don't want to spend too much time on the different levels, but understand this, you can get all the way to platinum by teaching people to get there too. So platinum is simply you having 12 executives. What are executives? People who have their 2. So again, everything is built around U+2, you guys. That's why we harp on it. That's why we teach it, U+2. And I think that might be the last slide. Yep, that's the last slide for the training and the compensation plan piece. Let me go back up. Is there anybody real quick? Because let me see. I will unmute this real quick. And let me see if anybody has any questions. Because like I said, this is for you guys. I'm not going to unmute the entire line. I will allow participants to unmute themselves. And let's see, there we go. If you have a question about any aspect of the compensation plan, go ahead and unmute yourself, ask your question, etc. And we'll go ahead and try to get those questions answered. We'll give it about 30 seconds to see if anyone has any questions. And like I said, no silly questions, you guys. Let's see, Melissa Brower. I have a question. Can you please explain in layman's terms for the newbies how a brand new rep can generate $150 in commissions as quickly as possible? For example, assuming they have the default 20% fast start, then every 100 CV order is $20. Every 25 CV order is $5, and every retail order will add $50 if it's 100 CV. I just think it may be a different way for their young minds to think about the comp plan in steps, and most important is to make their money back. Okay, now so what Melissa is saying, how to get to $150 if you're at 100 CV. So it really depends on if you're at 100 CV. If you're at 100 CV, it makes it really easy if you're doing 100 points. So in this example, she said $150. So I'm assuming this is a 100 CV order. The quickest way to get, and the easiest way, again, U+2. You identify your 2 people who do 100 points in personal volume. That's the quickest way, is doing U+2 at 100 points. But in this example, if we just talk about fast start commissions, you'll earn 20% on every order that if you just frontline people. So give an example, when you bring in 2 people, you'll make, in this example, $40 if you're at 20 CV. And then so that'll be $20 in fast start per each 2. But then you'll get an additional $50 in star bonuses in this example. So you've made $90 already. You will go out and bring in 2 more people in this example, front line, that's $180. If those first 2, let's say you just brought in those 2, like we talked about in the example, you help those 2 get there too, you already made your money back, because in essence, you've made $90 from the front level. Then you made an additional 75, that's $165 if you're doing U+2 at 100 points in personal volume. So it really depends on your strategy and psychology behind how you're building. Because if you're at 100 points in personal volume and people are duplicating what you do, it can happen a lot quicker. But understand, you'll get 20% on every wholesale order. And again, like she was saying, if you break that down, if it's a 25 CV order, you'll get $5. If it's a 50 CV order, you'll get $10. So it all adds up to where, retail sales and just teaching people how to go out and retail products, you can make it several different ways. It just really depends on your approach and how you're building it. I know we got several leaders on the line. They do different things, whether you're doing retail, whether you're teaching U+2, whatever you're doing, there is no wrong way to do it. You just want to make sure that you're duplicating in the best way possible. Let me see. Oh, that was direct messenger. Oh, she didn't post. She posted that in the chat, Melissa, so everybody can see it. All right. Thank you, Richard. Let me see if there's any other questions. And what I can do is, we can always type up some scenarios. There's so many ways, Melissa, to get to that point of getting your money back, because you got so many aspects of this compensation plan that it can happen so many different ways. Thank you, Coach Sonic. Let's see here. We'll give it just a few more seconds. Like I said, feel free. No silly questions. Don't do me a favor. But I'm just because of who I am and how I if you guys got any questions about anything, ask your question.
Hi, it's me, Miriam.
All right, go ahead, Miriam.
Okay, quick question. So when you put, when you get, say, for instance, I get 2 more executives, where do I put them? Well, there already be someone that that's enrolled under me, but I remember hearing something, I guess, to the tone of, it doesn't matter where they are under you, just as long as there's, say, for instance, for me to hit silver, I would need 4. So it's saying,
all right.
It's saying here in the chart here, 4, 1 in each leg, but it's only 2 legs. Well, it would be 4, right? 4 legs.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a minimum of 1. So give an example. It's for the silver, you need 4 personally sponsored executives.
Right.
And you need to have a minimum of 1 in a leg. So you can have 3 in 1, you can have 2 in 2, but you have to at least have 1 executive. You can't have all 4 on one side.
Okay. Okay, that's
Good
all I
question.
need to know.
Good question. I love that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And the same thing with gold. If you gold is 8 executives, you need to at least have 2. And it could be 2 and 6, it could be 4 and 4, 5 and 3, but you have to have a minimum of 2. So that's a real good question. I love that. I love that. That's when you know people are looking to rank advance. That's good stuff. Any other questions? Any other questions? And just remember, those are personally enrolled. So that's the only other caveat, personally enrolled. Yep, I see Coach Marcus broke it down. That's exactly right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Good question.
One more question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so say I get customers, just regular customers, not someone who wants the business build.
Okay.
And I'm looking to rank advance. So can I just put them under some of my personally enrolled members so that they can hit executive, or do I just keep them under me? I'm a little wondering about that. Is that allowed to do that? Are we allowed to
Look,
do
I wish you could see me smiling right now, Mary. So yes, you absolutely can do that. So the way that you would do that, and so man, I do a whole training on just how to do your rank advancement stuff. So I like to use a whiteboard, especially when you're looking at going platinum and hitting these different ranks. You got to be able to visualize it. So if you're a visual person, I would suggest writing it out on a sheet of paper, know who your already qualified executives are for the month. And then if you have people who placed the order who maybe not be an executive, but they placed the order for that month, then what you can do is you can help them become executive as you go out and you start getting in customers. Now, and keep in mind, when I say customers, these are people, like you said, who are not building a business. I would never give away the sponsorship for somebody who's building a business, but if you're retailing and people want to just buy some product, that's fine. What I would do is I wouldn't use their personal email address for those accounts. I would create an email address for those accounts and place those orders, and I would keep track of the login information for those accounts. And you can give them the login information if they want it, but typically for retail orders, I don't even give them the login information. I just place the order myself. So now you have an account that has as long as it's minimum of 25 CV, you can give up the sponsorship after you've earned the commissions. So make sure that once you do the purchase through create the account direct to you, you make the order, make sure, give it some time so the commissions can post to your account. Then you can go ahead and you can give up the sponsorship. And the way you do that is when you go to your placement hold, your placement hold changes, right?
Right.
You just need to put in that person who you're giving them to. You need to put in their ID number in the top and in the bottom, and make sure you allocate that they need to go to the left
or right. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm smiling right now.
Gina said, do that next time, Joe. Look, Gina, look, that's a whole nother training. Look, that's gonna take a minute to go through, because we got to understand the basics first. But I'm glad that Miriam asked that. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. If that don't make sense, Gina.
It makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Okay, good. So yes, you can absolutely create executives. Now, let me say this. Let me caution you guys, because I'm not going to throw nobody under the bus, but I know last month that I was up to 2 o'clock in the morning trying to make sure somebody was qualified because they were going to hit a rank the first time. And they helped somebody hit executive. Now, keep in mind, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and that account did not have a social security number and a birth date. Every executive has to have a social security and a birth date, or it will not flip from consultant to executive. Just remember that as you're helping people become qualified. When a person fall off your leg for lack of purchasing products, how will that affect your leg? They don't fall off your leg, Gina. They will fall out of your MyPIMS because for inactivity, but as soon as they make a purchase, they pop back up. So they won't fall off your leg. What can happen if they've been inactive for a period of time, that position can purge from the system and they will have to create a new account. So yes, that can happen. But if they just fall off, say they didn't place an order and it's been 33 days, they will fall out of your MyPIMS team, and you can find them just by there's a tab that says inactive, And then there's another tab that says cancel, and you can find them in those two tabs. Hopefully they're inactive and not canceled. Thank you, Zena. Hey, that's why we do this. This call is for, like I said, the more people that know this stuff, the better it's going to be. And the more you guys can teach it, because as people get started, we can't assume people know network marketing. There are a lot of people who've been in the industry for 10, 12 years, but if you never had anybody actually teach you this industry, you don't know it. So either you're going to be a student and learn it yourself and figure it out and take the humps and lumps, or you can hopefully get connected with somebody who can teach it and are willing to teach it. A lot of people won't teach it because they just want you to follow them. At HBN, what we do is so good. I need you guys to know how good we got it. So when you talk to other people and they try to recruit you with the hype machine, oh, it's so great over here, we made $1 million. Ask them to show you how and see how quiet it gets. Me and Mr. Zanders were with somebody a while back. We were talking to one of those pseudo leaders in Houston, and he wanted to talk to us about his company. He was so excited. Hopefully, Mr. Zanders, he'd be jumping off. He might be on another call. But we were sitting down with this pseudo network marketing leader, and he was trying to pitch us on what he was doing. We was trying to tell him about what we were doing. And all he could talk about was some fake bogus hype stuff. When we tried to go actually talk about some real numbers and compensation plan, he wanted to dead the whole conversation because he knew he didn't have anything to offer when it came to a compensation plan. But we got a business for money. Look at that. It was terrible. And look, it's funny. We laugh about it today because when we started to try to talk about the numbers and really making money, he didn't want to hear nothing about numbers and making money. He said, hey, man, I can fly you guys. He invited us to Dubai. He said, I can fly you guys out to Dubai and Florida. We can fly y'all out there this weekend. We didn't go to Dubai, needless to say, you guys, because we know what we got. And if you fly me and Mrs. Anders to Dubai, you ain't gonna fly the whole team and all thousands of our teams to Dubai. And the reason why I don't take deals anymore, I've taken deals. Don't get me wrong. I've taken deals in my early stages in network marketing, and I've taken 2 deals total, and they never work out because if they got to pay you to come and build it, they're gonna have to pay everybody to come and build it. And once people know that they're paying people, nobody gonna join without a deal. That's why they never work. So I said, if you're gonna go somewhere, be willing to go somewhere and build something without a deal, because when you're recruiting people, everybody gonna come because it's not a deal. And you're not gonna have people saying, well, you got a deal, so I want to get a deal too. No, we all got started the same way. We all built it the same way. I had 3 people. Coach Marcus said, told you had a team of 0. Coach Marcus, post in the chat. I guess it's time. Now go ahead and post in chat, Coach Marcus, how many people you got on your team? I had a team of 3. Right now, I'm right at 15,000. I know Mrs. Anders, I don't know how many people you got in this team, but how many people did you start with, Mrs. Anders, and how many people you got on your team now? I want you guys to understand, it's not about where you start. 370,000 people. If any one of those 370,000 people place an order, that volume flows up to Coach Marcus. He started with a team of 0. This is not something I tell people. The reason why people think network marketing doesn't work is because people aren't teaching it correctly and they don't understand the mechanics of how the compensation plans work. If you really understand it, he said, I enrolled almost 1,600 people in my first 6 months. That's killing it. That's killing it. Gave away a lot of free positions. Absolutely. And he said, Mr. Zander said, I started with 0. But Melissa joined the first day, so that meant a lot to me that she saw the vision. Absolutely. And so you guys got to understand, it's the big picture. We didn't come over here to become millionaires overnight, because that ain't real. That ain't real. Nobody really doing that. If you understand how comp plans work now, hopefully you guys got a better idea. Ask them to show you. When somebody tell you, man, I made $50,000 in my first week, one of these leaders, ask them to show you how they made it. They can't even map it out. They can't even make it make sense. Well, I brought my team over from this company and they put me above all the other people in the company, and I just dropped all my people over here and I made this money. Well, you can't do that. That ain't offering that to you. That's why the same people making money every time they go somewhere, because they taking the same people with them. That's why they don't want you to leave. They leveraging you. And when people understand what's happening, the industry gonna shift. And people gonna look for companies like HBN, or they gonna quit the industry altogether. There is no in between. Me and Mr. Zanders were talking the other day, believe it or not, about how many top money earners, quote unquote top money earners, are not even doing network marketing anymore. You'd be blown away. They're not even doing it. I talked to a guy who lives right outside of Nashville. He's totally out of the industry. This guy was making more than $20,000 a week at one point. He's no longer in the industry because when you take away all the fluff and all the stuff, and you actually got something real and you teaching real stuff and you got to build it, they can't do it. They can't do it. That's why a lot of people quit. They can't do it. They never did it. They just got deals and jumped around and took deals. So we want to make the industry great again. I think HBN is that vehicle to do so. And it's just going to be about us going out and sharing this with the masses. I just think it makes sense. So with that being said, you guys, if there are no more questions, we will go ahead and wrap up tonight's Zoom call. I know we went over, man, we definitely went over, but hey, hopefully it was worth it. Hopefully you guys got something out of this, but we will wrap up tonight's Zoom call. You guys have hey, let's make sure you're checking your grids. Make sure you're talking to your people. They checking their grids. If they're at 100 points in personal volume, everybody needs to be checking their grids. If everybody checks their grids, closes their grids out, you guys will generate another 10, 15 grids alone just by closing grids, you guys. That's when the money becomes astronomical and everybody understands the vision and everybody's working together. That's what network marketing is, you guys. Thank you, Coach Marcus. Thank you, you guys. So again, I'm going to share this video. You guys make sure you get it out to your team. As soon as I get the upload, I will share it and I'll share the link and you guys feel free to share that link and we'll post it in the groups, you guys. Have a great weekend. Tomorrow is the last day of the week for you guys who have those auto ships. Again, check your star grids. Oh, also screenshot your dashboard so you can track your organization to know if it's growing from month to month. Key things you want to see: your active members. You want to see that growing every month. You want to see your volume growing every month. Screenshot those things tomorrow, latest you can. If you go to sleep at 9, screenshot it at 9. That way, at the end of the month, next month, you can see your organization growing. And again, just plug in, be a part of the process, and you'll be amazed by doing a few simple things and teaching it. You'll have an organization and it'll be paying you like you never dreamed it could happen, you guys. And that's the reality of network marketing. You guys have a good one and God bless.